This is my Nissan Frontier. I bought this truck 10 months ago and had a few ideas to turn it into a versatile, capable off-road adventure rig. I recently installed a 6-speed manual transmission in it, a bunch of new engine parts, and a few more aftermarket upgrades than I'd care to admit. But anyone who's ever worked on their own stuff should be familiar with the dangerous saying of, while I'm in there, I may as well do this too. The further I peel back this onion, so to speak, the more I discover things I can't simply leave as they are. Which brings us to today's episode. I've got a lot of steaks on the grill at the moment. We're going to be swapping in this M226 rear axle. We're going to be cleaning up this frame, changing out a whole bunch of bearings. It's going to be a lot of fun. So if you like Nissans, are into 4x4, or like laughing at people making questionable decisions, stick around. You're in the right place. This is a C200K rear axle. This comes on Frontiers that are not Pro 4X or Nismo trim. Reason being is essentially it's a grosser getting axle. You're not gonna be doing a whole lot of 4x4 in this thing. I mean, you can, but you're not gonna get very far. The Pro 4X or Nismo trim comes with the M226 axle, which is also known as a Dana 44. It's a much more robust build. It's got thicker diameter axle tubes, bigger pinion and ring gear. The cherry on the cake is it comes with an e-walker, which is what we are ultimately after. So we're gonna be swapping this thing out for that thing. This thing also looks like crap, which is reason enough to be swapping it out, or at least cleaning up by my standards. Anyway, if anyone wants this, you can have it for free. Send me a message. For those of you that have been watching the channel for a bit now, you would know that this axle is out of Fiona, our donor vehicle. I've pretty much harvested the entire drivetrain out of Fiona. We're taking all her locking diffs, axles, engine, transmission, and dropping it into this long box crew cab Frontier. In the last episode, me and my little guy started taking apart this rear diff, so let's resume that. With the heat cycles and years of corrosion, a lot of these electrical components are very fragile, so be careful. You'll have to back these locating rings off a little bit. It's actually a really cool design, very user-friendly, and once you do that, the whole carrier should just come out. Okay, we've got 2 roller bearings on either end of the carrier that we've got to pull out. So let's go ahead and do that. There's multiple ways you can skin a cat for removing bearings. Yukon makes a puller for this, but I don't have that, but I do have a torch. I'm just slapping some heat on the inner race, and then once it's expanded a little bit, I'm gonna try and pry up and see what happens. If I was looking to reuse these bearings, I would definitely invest in the Yukon puller set, but the whole point is we're replacing these bearings anyway, so using a little bit of heat and damaging them is not a big deal. This is an M226 full rebuild kit from Yukon Gear and Axle. You can pick it up online for about 400 bucks. It pretty much comes with everything you need except for axle seals and bearings. Using a hydraulic press to install the new bearings is probably the easiest. Now to remove the axle shaft, bearings, and seals, I'm just gonna be cutting them off. There's not a lot of room to get any pullers or anything like that in here, and because we are replacing all this stuff, it doesn't matter if it's damaged. Notice how I'm not cutting all the way to the shaft though. You don't have to. You can use a chisel and separate the last bit of the bearing or race. That way you're not in danger of cutting into your shaft. It's a little bit time consuming, but it's a very effective method. As far as removing the inner race, it's just a matter of whatever is going to get the job done. You can use a pry bar, but I find some water pump pliers actually work really well. If you're working on old grimy parts, getting a needle scaler is a big investment. It's a game changer for stuff like this, as you can see. I'm using Simple Green, which is a great mild degreaser, because we're getting this thing ready for paint. Because of where this is in the truck, I want a paint that's durable. This 2-part epoxy paint is pretty awesome, at least so I think. I've never used it before, and I'm curious to try it. I've read some really good reviews. It's pretty nice to apply, so far so good. All right, I sandblasted these brake caliper brackets and then left them in the rain, so I'm gonna be using a little bit of rust converter before painting these guys. After letting the primer set for a day, I'm using the Hot Rod Black finish. And I gotta say, I'm pretty impressed. I'm not a good painter, but this stuff is really easy to apply and does not run at all. Ultimately, I'm really happy with the finish. It's kind of like a satin finish, which I really like. The older I get, the less I'm into gloss. And these brackets turned out really nice as well. I just used a Rattle Can Rust-Oleum matte black. After modifying a socket, I can finally access my pinion, and while I'm in there, I'll be swapping out my seal and bearing as well. This seal has seen better days, and to be honest, changing out this seal was really the motivation to do this entire axle. There's a few outer races in here that still need to get punched out. But before I start to put this thing back together, I'm going to pay a little visit to my buddy Enrico.